It is still very intense, and according to the Weather Service, looks like it may be getting a little bit undercut by outflow, and it may be dry, going into more of a drier environment. So that may be good news there, Kerry. That may allow the storm to decrease before it increases. However, based on what we're seeing visually, it's still a very dangerous storm, as you're saying there. It does have a tornado vorticity signature with it. It does have a mesocyclone. Looks like about a level 2 on that, and we still have some very large hail associated with it. So again, it's still quite a strong thunderstorm, Kerry, and it is a good idea for you guys to move a little bit to the west and southwest there. You may be impacted by some very strong winds with this storm. We have some very strong winds reported in the Plainview area. Cutter put out a note there. There was some gustnados being reported. Cutter Martin here, our newest weathercaster here, put out some information that strong winds moving into Plainview, producing some gustnados there. But again, you can see our tornado vorticity signature still indicated, still a strong overall rotation with this storm. The hail size, interesting there, has dropped, at least according to our Doppler radar, down to 3/4 inch. Now, it was 2 3/4 inches, so we're going to watch that indication a little bit early, over the next hour to see what happens with that. But again, this is still a very dangerous thunderstorm, literally getting very close to the city of Crosbyton. Then there's still, I want to mention, thunderstorm warnings for Cottle, Dickens, King, Motley counties through 3:45. No reports of any strong severe weather in those counties. Just mention that briefly. All of our concern is right here on this thunderstorm, dropping now into Crosby County. It's almost into the city of Crosbyton. We might zoom in on that, Steve, while you're there, just to give us a quick look and give us some mileage, if you would, one of you guys, between Crosbyton, the leading edge of the hail with this storm. And rotation with the storm is quite strong. Remember, with the tornado warning in effect, a basement and a cellar, those are the best places to be because you're underground. If you don't have that option, second best to that is going to be a bathroom, closet. Try to get in a bathroom, maybe just has one window versus 2 windows, or in the interior part of the house, interior closet, any kind of hallway, small areas without glass. That's the best place to be. But you can see here, as far as location, looks like it is about 11 miles still away from Crosbyton. It is drifting south at only 10, maybe 15 at the most, probably like 10 miles an hour. So that's going to put it in the Crosbyton area very shortly. The hail following that. So now's the time to make sure you know which closet, bathroom area you may have to go to. In addition to that, you need to get those vehicles, anything that could be damaged by high winds and large hail, whether or not there's a tornado with the storm. You still have the potential of large hail and high winds, so get those items protected at this point. And for folks down in White River Lake, I know it's a little bit further south there, but keep in mind the storm is coming south at this point. It will have some very strong winds, maybe hail and lightning associated with it, but if you're at White River Lake or you know someone there, make sure that you get off of the lake as soon as possible. So again, here's a spur area, here's White River Lake. You can actually see the leading edge of the storm in Crosby County. That storm is drifting south. It may impact Dickens. It's not a direct threat at this point. Obviously, there's another severe thunderstorm between Guthrie and Dickens up in the Paducah area. This storm has produced some very heavy rainfall, large hail. It's out really in the open areas between Paducah, Guthrie, and Matador. It is drifting southeast. This, again, is where our warning's currently in effect at this point. And I'm looking over here towards Josh and also the chat line. Nothing new indicated as far as any additional data on that. Don't forget, if you have Digipics or any information, send those. Send it to 11.com, weather@kcbd.com. We have Cutter updating our Facebook, KCBD Facebook, as well as his and my Facebook and Steve's. In addition to that, Twitter, so we can get that information to you. Steve?
John, and as you mentioned, this thunderstorm, the DBZ, the intensity of the thunderstorm, has dropped off quite a bit, and it's possible that we could see some very strong winds, additional strong winds, as these thunderstorms, if they do collapse, they'll produce some very strong winds. And Christy and I have been talking about the haboob that was mentioned earlier.
Wondering what are the kind of preparations people need to be worried about when it comes to haboob, or what kind of damage can this haboob even create?
One of the things to remember is that haboob you should treat like you would with severe thunderstorm winds. These winds with the haboob, or a dust or sandstorm if you prefer, can exceed easily 50, even 60 miles per hour. So that can pick up things that are in the yard, outside. If it flies into glass, of course, it could break that, fly into your car, damage your car, and things of that nature. So the same precautions, you want to be in a substantial building, typically a house, stay away from the windows, but you do want to be indoors at that time, especially if you're an allergy sufferer. Typically, these are passing over some very dry ground that we see, and they pick up a lot of dust. So you're also going to see low visibility, which can happen with the strong thunderstorm winds too. So you want to be careful if you're driving out about that you could have visibility that's fine, and then all of a sudden it just drops and you can't see just a few miles in front of you. As we check in on our live tower cam, we've been looking out to the east and the northeast here for the possibility of looking at that haboob or that wall of dust or sand. And it does look dusty on the horizon, but we don't see a wall of dust. We're actually looking out to the north right here, so we're looking up to the plain view area at this point, and then we'll come back around here and look out more to the northeast. And again, it's very dark underneath this cloud. That is the thunderstorm complex that is supporting the severe thunderstorm that John has been talking about, Carrie has been talking about. Of course, we'll have more on that coming up here in just a few moments. But at this point, we don't see the wall of dust, but we have had reports that winds may easily exceed 60 miles per hour with that. So again, we'll be watching that. And again, as always, with the thunderstorms in the area, it's just a good idea to be indoors, even if the thunderstorm is not in your immediate vicinity. But as they near, you want to move indoors.
Something I know that a lot of people are excited about is getting that great video or being able to go outside and get those pictures. Stay safe whenever you're out there, and whenever things get close to you, go inside. Whenever you hear John and Steve really talking about the nearness of these storms, get indoors and get away from those windows as well, because those windows and the pressure from tornadoes or any kind of massive storm, even hailstones, can break your windows. So you want to be sure that you're safe, and making sure your safety is more important than getting those pictures. Something else I want to touch on just real quick: if they do alert you to get into that safe zone, whether it be a closet or in some place in the interior of your house, don't forget that we are streaming live on the web, so you don't have to have your television on. Of course, you can have your TV on, have the audio up, but also if you have an iPhone, an iPad, and Android with you, you can go to our app and you can actually watch the live stream on your phone. So make sure you take that with you as a precaution, because you never know when things change in these kind of storms.
And a reminder that using the app or online, if you're using your iPad or your laptop, we have tornado safety tips, other weather safety tips right there on our weather page at kcbd.com. Go to weather, scroll down a little bit past the forecast, and you'll find that information there. And again, reminders, John has been reminding you about what to do in case a tornado does approach, what to do if a thunderstorm approaches. We've talked about some tornado myths, and you'll also find some of that information covered right there. So just a wealth of information. And I also want to mention that using through the app or directly on the web page, weather at kcbd.com, we have our interactive radar. So here we control the radar, show you what we think is most important to see at that moment, but you can control the radar.
Where I am and what's going on with me and my family.
All the way down to street level, rooftop level, but not just here in Lubbock, all across the viewing area, anywhere in the country, in case you want to follow friends and family.
So as long as you are staying safe, we do want those videos. We do want your pictures. Send them to weather at kcbd.com. Send it to 11.com. Send it to 11.com.
Send it to 11.com. Right.
Also, you can attach them easily, most people, from your phone to our Facebook directly. And as soon as the storms calm down here in just a bit, we're going to take a look at all of those pictures that you're sending us. But we, of course, are keeping on this storm.
Right, and with more and the latest, we want to head back to John so he can update us on that. John?
All right. Thanks, Cutter. I do want to let you know we just got a call from Rhett Parker, the city manager in the community of Rawls. If we can zoom back over in that area. Rawls has opened their community shelter for those who want to come, and encourage you to come there because of tornado warning in effect in that area between Rawls and Crosbyton, should that storm produce a tornado. So again, and he's also on the phone there. Okay, let's go ahead and talk to you right now. Rhett, bring us up to date on what's going on in Rawls.
Yes, sir. We're just watching the weather today, and we're opening up the downtown tornado shelter just to be precautious. And anyone on US Highway 6282 that needs to get out of the weather, they can come downtown to Rawls. It's located at 820 Tilford Avenue.
All right. So once again, man, you've got that open right now. Folks can come on in there. And have you seen any strong winds, or have you experienced anything such as that ahead of this storm coming into Rawls?
We're just watching the weather and watching the winds come in and trying to be precautious.
All right. Have you sounded tornado sirens or anything such as that, or are you just opening the shelter so folks will just come on that way?
Just at this time, we're opening the shelter.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Parker. Appreciate you taking time to call us on that and give us an update. And again, if you have additional information, please give us a call. But we thank you very much. The city manager of Rawls there, Mr. Rhett Parker there. They've got the emergency shelter open. You can go to Rawls.